Hey everybody, today we're going to be taking a look at the Storm Hero Pack for Marvel Champions. Let's get into it. Alright, let's take a look at the Storm Hero Pack here. So we have Storm Hero, and of course you start on Alter Ego side, 3 recovery. You begin the game with the Weather deck in play, which are 4 cards that you're going to be having off the side. We'll look at those in a second. And it says, I feel a storm coming, set up. Choose a support from the Weather deck and put it into play. So you're going to start with one of those supports in play. And then Storm here has 1 thwart, 2 attack, 1 defense, hand size of 6 on the other side, and hand size of 5 here, and then 10 hit points. And then she has the ability Weather Control. Action, swap your Weather support in play with a support of your choice from the Weather deck. Resolve the special ability of your Weather support in play once per round. That's awesome. So you can kind of do the special ability on there. So let's take a look at these Weather cards since they're so crucial to her deck here. So the first one here, Thunderstorm. Each character gets +1 attack, and then special, deal 2 damage to an enemy. That seems awesome. But that is each character. So that's villains and heroes and allies. If you have a ton of allies on your side, this could be great because it's each character gets +1 attack. So that's amazing. Hurricane. Each character gains Retaliate. So everybody's going to be smashing each other with a ton of damage. Remove 2 threat from a scheme. Seems really good. Clear Skies. Each character gains Stalwart. Draw a card. Awesome. So this is if you have if you have Confused or Stun on you, this can make that drop off, which is great. Then Blizzard. Each character gets -1 attack. So that villain's about to attack you or a whole bunch of minions are about to attack you, gives them all -1 attack. Choose a non-elite minion until the end of the round. Treat that minion's text box as if it were blank, except for traits. Cool, so minimizing the stuff that the villains have and the enemies have to do against you. Also, it gives your characters -1 attack, so it's all about the timing on how you put these cards out. You can also call for action if you're playing a multiplayer and kind of switch them out on the fly, depending on different things. There's some really cool plays you can play with this, and this is just great when you're playing multiplayer and you can make each character have attack at the beginning of the hero round and then switch it out for having minus attack and things like that if you're able to time it right. And she's all about manipulating the weather, which makes so much sense for Storm. I love how the theme kind of comes through with that. So let's see how these Storm cards play into play with the rest of her cards. So you have her Garden here. This is a 1-cost support. Exhaust your Garden and heal 2 damage from your identity. Awesome. I love ways that just continually allow you to heal without having to exhaust for recovery. Storm's Crown. This is a 2-cost upgrade. Storm gets +1 thwart. Exhaust Storm's Crown to generate the printed resource of your Weather support. So depending on which Weather support you have, you're going to get a different resource there. That's pretty cool. Then Storm's Cape. This is a 3-cost upgrade. She gets +1 defense and the aerial trait. After you resolve the special ability of your Weather support, exhaust Storm's Cape to ready Storm. So cool, her Cape's allowing her to unexhaust there, so that's pretty great. And then a 3-cost event here, Blast of Wind. Choose a player, deal 3 damage to the villain, and each minion engage with that player. Resolve the special ability of the Weather support. So you can see a bunch of her stuff are going to do different things, but then also resolving the ability of the Weather thing. So like Thunderstorm's dealing 2 damage, this one's letting you draw a card, this one's messing up the text boxes of things, this one's removing threat. So you're consistently going through and using that special ability on those cards over and over again. So you have a couple of those. Then Lightning Bolt. This is a 3-cost event. 8 damage to an enemy. If Thunderstorm is in play, resolve its special ability. And Thunderstorm does an extra 2 damage. So for 3 costs here, you're dealing 10 damage. That's amazing. And the characters are going to have +1 attack while that's out too. So Lightning Bolt is amazing. Weather Goddess is a 0-cost event. Swap your Weather support in play with the Weather support of your choice. Resolve the special ability of the Weather support in play. So once again, just manipulating that Weather deck, allowing you to have the right ones and being able to trigger the special ability on it over and over again, being able to do lots of cool things. Torrential Rain. Hero action. This is a 2-cost event. Remove 3 threat from among side schemes in play. If Hurricane is in play, resolve its special ability. And the thing is about setting up and making sure, when you play these cards, the correct thing is in play to be able to utilize the max potential you have for these things. Then Flash Freeze is a 1-cost event. When a villain attacks you, the villain and each minion engaged with you gets -3 attack while attacking you for this phase. If Blizzard is in play, resolve its special ability. So a way to slow down the villain if they're trying to attack you. There's another torrential rain in there. There's another lightning bolt in there. So I didn't have those quite in order. But now we can look at the other cards here. She is a leadership deck. So we have Pixie here. This is a 2-cost ally. 1 thwart, 2 attack with 2 consequential damage on the attack there. After you play Pixie from your hand, add an X-Men ally from your discard pile to your hand, allowing you to get those X-Men allies back, which is awesome, especially in a leadership deck. Here is a 4-cost Havoc, 1 thwart, 2 attack. When Havoc attacks, discard the top card of the encounter deck for each boost icon discarded. This way, Havoc gets +1 attack for this attack and takes +1 consequential damage. So he can end up wrecking himself real quick and hopefully do a little bit of extra attack. But if you need a quick burst of attack, he costs 4. That's pretty expensive. We have Gentle here. This is a 3-cost ally. 1 thwart, 3 attack. Gentle takes +1 consequential damage after he attacks the villain. So he has that 3 attack, but if he's going against minions, he's going to be really good. But going against the villains, he's going to knock himself out pretty quick. Then we have Mirage here, 3-cost ally. 2 thwart, 1 attack. After Mirage enters play, choose an enemy whose scheme is less than a Mirage's thwart. Stun that enemy. So cool. So you can mess up somebody if they only have one scheme on them. Then Uncanny X-Men. Play under a player's control. Max 1 team card per player. Each of your X-Men allies gets +1 hit point. If each of your characters is X-Men trait, each of your X-Men allies cost 1 fewer resource to play, allowing you to get those cards into play. How I was saying somebody cost 4 and that might not be worth it. Maybe they're worth it to play if they only cost 3. And you have a couple of those, so you can put them in front of play in other players' areas. Then leadership skills plus upgrade cost 1. When an ally makes a basic thwart or basic attack, remove 1 leadership counter from here. They get +1 thwart and +1 attack for that action. Just boosting up your allies and things like that. That's always awesome. And then to me, my X-Men event here. This is play only if you're an X-Men. Search the top 5 cards of your deck for an ally, put it into play. If that ally is put into play at the end of the phase, add it to your hand. So awesome. You can pull somebody out, be able to do a little bit with them, then put it back in your hand, being able to trigger that thing again. If people have stuff that happens when they come into play, that's a really good card to have, so you can trigger that multiple times. Then effective leadership. When you spend this resource card to play an ally, it gets +1 thwart and +1 attack. Always fun. Then we have Forge, plus a 2-cost ally, 1 thwart, 1 attack, 2 hit points. After Forge enters play, search your deck or discard pile for an X-Men or X-Force support and add it to your hand and then shuffle. So Forge is allowing you to get those X-Men and X-Force supports out of your deck, kind of setting your character up. So that's pretty awesome. Good job, Forge. And then Utopia here, 2-cost support for each of your allies. If each of your allies has an X-Men trait, increase your ally limit by 1. Then response after X-Men ally enters play, exhaust this and ready an X-Men character. Kind of allowing you to unexhaust some guys there. And then X-Jet, it's a 3-cost support. Exhaust X-Jet to generate a wild resource for a player whose identity has the X-Men trait. This is cool because it can kind of be done by anybody, allowing them to kind of use that resource when it needs to be done. So you can kind of help each other out with that. Then the X-Mansion, exhaust the X-Mansion to heal 1 damage from a mutant or X-Men character. Any player's alter ego has the mutant ability trait, may trigger this ability. This is great to kind of heal up your allies if they're about to get knocked out. Then Endurance here, 1-cost upgrade. Play on player you control, you get +3 hit points, allowing you to have even more hit points to go through there. Then, of course, Strength, Energy, and Genius with the new X-Men art. And then we do have the Obligation here for Storm. I normally don't go through these too much, just so that way you can explore them on your own. Calypso there with her stuff, if you want to pause and read a little bit about this stuff. But for me, I like to actually discover them more when I'm actually playing the game and be like, oh, that's what that card does. And then we have the extra cards that she comes with. Hangar Bay, this is a protection card. After an ally defeats an enemy, defends against an enemy attack and is not defeated, you can ready that ally. So if you have a really tough ally, they could do that. You get 3 of those. Then Shadow King is another minion module here you can throw in with your other campaigns. Lots of mean, nasty stuff you can add. If you just want to mix up your gameplay, allowing you to have even more replayability against the villains you've already played, you can throw Shadow King in there and have astral attacks against you, that sort of thing. Awesome, well that's Storm. Let's see what I think. So Storm, her unique feature is that she has that Storm deck that you're going to be cycling through the entire game. And I love the way that, once again, they have that theme that they kind of add into the different characters from Marvel Champions and also kind of make them unique. The Storm deck reminds me a little bit of Doctor Strange's deck that he has off to the side, but he's going to be paying cost for that. She's going to be doing cool stuff for free, basically, and switching them out every single round or multiple times around. A lot of her cards allow you to switch it up or get extra boosts if you have a specific card in play. And the fact that she can switch it at least once each time means that she's probably going to be able to pull that off. You just have to see the combos in your hand, and this deck is full of cool combos. She is a great multiplayer character because if you're giving all characters +1 attack, and like at the beginning of your turn, you switch it to where everybody has +1 attack because you're the last player, and then it comes to your turn, and you're like, okay, I'm going to play a card to change again, and now it's all minus attack for the villain phase. There's lots of cool combos you can do with Storm to get major boons and boosts. And the fact that she's leadership means you can have a ton of allies in play with just this deck. And you can be like, everybody's got +1 attack, we're doing mass amounts of damage. Not to mention that her cards that she has, just her attack cards, can do 10 damage by triggering the special ability of like Thunderstorm or whatever. She can do a mass amount of damage herself. She's a great support character, but she can also do a lot of cool things. I enjoy Storm a lot. I enjoy the uniqueness it brings to the game, allowing you to have like Stalwart to drop off the different like confused and stun and things like that on characters is a huge boon. Anybody who, like, if your friend is playing Storm and they bring them to the table, you're going to be happy, you know. I played a game where I was Wolverine and another player was Storm, and it was just cool to see how they were utilizing Storm flipping back and forth. I also played Storm a bunch of times myself. I played Storm solo, and it even works great then because you're able to just manipulate the weather, and it's just gives you that thematic flair and feeling of Storm. I'm going to give Storm an 8.5. I enjoy it. I think it's an excellent deck. If you like Storm as a character, feel free to pick up this pack because I think it's fun. I'm still loving Marvel Champions. I get everything for this game. If you're like me, you're probably going to get everything too. But I've been having a blast playing through it. Let me know how much of your collection of Marvel Champions have you played through. Are you struggling to get through all of it? Do you play solo? Do you play with other people? How are you playing the game? How are you enjoying it? Make sure to leave that in the comments down below. I always enjoy talking with people there about the game and what's going on. Anyway, I've been Cannaday. I'm stoked to see more and more Marvel Champions coming out, but I will see you on the next one.